Jayo Rama Manoma Kunjavihari Gopi Janavala Yashodanandana Prajanarandana Yashodanandana Prajanarandana Yashodanandana Prajanarandana Yamuna Tira Vadati Yamuna Tira Vadati Jayo Rama Manoma Kunjavihari So today's topic is, what is the biggest benediction to ask from the Lord? There was one demon, and generally demons cannot approach the Supreme Lord. He approached Lord Shiva. Actually, Lord Shiva is a devotee, but playing the role of a demigod, he acts in another way. And he's supposed to do certain. Just like we have personal role, we have official role, professional role. So as a profession, somebody comes, I do as a profession, but may not be something very personal. So similarly, Yamaraj also, somebody was saying how Yudhishthira Maharaj is son of Yamaraj. He's so peaceful. And they think that Yamaraj is all ferocious. No. Yamaraj has a very personal, beautiful form, which is quite calm. In fact, Vidura is Yamaraj itself. But professionally, he has to do the job of punishing. That time he is in a ferocious mode. But that is not his only personality. He has his personal role as a great devotee. And now, in the same way, we see the example here, is that what is the greatest benediction? We were in the story of the demon. So the demon approached Lord Shiva. Shiva is a great devotee in a personal role, but official role, he just grants a benediction very easily, or whatever a person wants. So he asks benediction that he does some austerity. Well, Lord Shiva says, okay, I'll sanction what you want. He says, give me this benediction, that if I touch my hand to anybody's head, that person will be finished. His head will crack. Lord Shiva says, such a crazy benediction. Say that again. Granted. So he said, now I want to touch your head first. I want to enjoy your life. And first I want to kill you now. And the demon was also powerful, and now he's chasing him throughout the universe. And Lord Shiva is running for his life. Finally, Vishnu comes and saves Lord Shiva from that condition. And he tricks that person to put his hand on his own head, and he dies. But anyway, that's a big story. But the point here was that there are some people who go for these kind of benediction by which they can harm somebody. Even Benediction wanted benediction like, I can enjoy unlimitedly, eternally. This was the benediction Hiranyakashipu wanted. Enjoy all my senses eternally. That's what even the scientists are trying to do. They are trying to give us all and more ways we can squeeze more tightly, more and more happiness from our senses. Just like you squeeze from sugarcane juice, you're making a press by which you can squeeze more, a single drop. So similarly, from our senses we can squeeze some happiness, as much as possible. And scientists are saying we will do something, some miracle by which you can live forever. The same plan Hiranyakashipu had in purpose in the history. Either the plan of Hiranyakashipu or similar plan by Ravana were all squashed. It's a law. Everybody has to die in this world. It will not work. The very scientists trying to promise you that they themselves will die. So these are the kind of benediction people look for, to harm somebody or to become very materially comfortable. And people generally go to temples just for that. Some Ashirvada which can make them very comfortable in this world. And this is a general tendency. Somehow I can maintain my band of the things which are around me for my sense gratification. My Lord be very kind. There was a king, he had a child called Harsha. The king name was Chitraketu. And he was always very sad. He was a perfect administrator. So citizens were very happy, very good administrator. At the same time, he had a problem. He didn't have a child, even though he had many wives. So what happens one day, one great sage comes and he, in a great humility, sits at the feet of the sage, Angira. So Angira says, you are so humble, though you are such a great king. I very much appreciate this point. Tell me, what do you want? Why your face is sad, even though everything looks fine? It doesn't look like your kingdom is at attack or anything, but you look so disturbed. Even though as a Kshatriya, things look very fine for you. He said, no, the problem is this, I don't have a child. He said, okay, you don't have a child. I'll do one thing, I'll do one tapasya to one devata called Tvashta. And I'll give you a prasada after that. So he goes and he's hoping that something can happen. He's very powerful sage, can do anything. So he brings him finally one pot of sweet rice. It says Devata has sanctioned on. Because actually all our things in this world have been delegated to the Devatas. Actual control is Krishna. But different Devatas, just like government department, somebody has to give this permission, that is going on. Done. So he gives the sweet rice and give it to your wife who is most dear to you, and she will bear the child immediately. She said, okay. So he gets the pot of sweet rice and gives to her. Then what happens is that she gives the child. Harsha Shoka. Why Harsha Shoka? Because he told him the child will give you great pleasure, but later it will give you great pain. So the king thinks, everything is fine. Doesn't matter actually, in the sense that later children become disobedient generally as they grow. It's okay, it's fine, I'll tolerate, but let me enjoy now. See, as the child, he was laughing and enjoying with the child every day. And all of the queens got neglected. This generally happens because the husband was with this queen all along. Every day he used to visit her and play with the child and go to his palace, evening again come, and the whole kingdom was so attached to the king, because the king was so nice otherwise, that they were also celebrating. Imagine this is how the kings used to be. Their happiness was citizens' happiness. They used to take care of the citizens like their children. Definitely they are attached. It's give and take. So when he's happy, whole citizens are all happy. But some wives, other wives of the king were not happy because they got fully neglected. Consciously and unconsciously the king neglected them. And they become wild now. And they decided that actually everything has happened because of this child. After this child has come, their life has become rotten. He doesn't look at them also. So time passes and now they are burning with envy. And they decide, let us get rid of this child. So they poison the child and the child dies. And secretly they do that. But now that the maid servant in the house, she collapses when they see child has died, and this woman collapses. Word goes to the king from the palace. He, after hearing news, he faints, and he's walking to his wherever the child is there, queen is there, and he's not able to walk. Every step is falling and then walking. And then he reaches a place and he sees the child, he faints. Child is there. And he and the wife then start crying, and both are, enhancing each other's crying with mouth open, like that, both are crying. In this world, when something happens like this, it is not considered abnormal today to cry like this. It's considered very normal. Recently, Kumbh Mela, people have died. You see the whole family was crying, and they can't just handle it. And it's considered as normal. You should cry. Bhagavatam laughs at it. In fact, the same sage Angira comes at this moment with Narada. Both are dressed up. So the Chitraketu cannot recognize them. And Angira starts instructing him. What happened? Why are you crying like an animal? You don't have intelligence. You don't even know what you love is lying here in front of you. Can't you see? The body is lying in front of you. Why are you crying? That means what you're crying for, you never saw. If it is separate from the body, anyway. So what you're crying for anyway? So they say the king is born in the Vedic culture. It says, sorry, what you're telling is correct, but I have no realizations about this. I am completely in the middle plane. Please instruct me. So Angira, the great sage, starts instructing. And he says, what more to say? One of the exalted saints have come. And he reveals, both are hidden. That is Narada. I request Narada, it's always etiquette. Elders person should speak. You instruct him. So Narada Muni also started instructing him. And then there's some miracle. He brings the child to life. So father and the mother rush towards the child. They say, oh, Harshashokar, oh, my child, my child. He says, my dear Narada, why did you bring me back? For my own purification, I have come to this body. And I was going to my next body. And why you brought me here? When I will become devotee, I don't know. And these people are saying, my son, which parents are there? I had so many parents. But the parents, the tiger's body I had the dog's body. And in human body I had so many parents. Which one are these? Like that. Now father and mother are now having a real shock of their life. And actually speaking the truth. But because, to bring him extra faith, he made the child come and speak the truth, He is completely stunned, And he says to Narada, wish one day I become a pure devotee like you. Goes to Krishna's lotus feet. And please give me permission. I can continue my, field of experience, which is created by the Lord, for me to finally surrender to Him. So Narada Muni says, okay, go. So child falls back on his bed and vanished. So the Chitraketu now fully understands. So Narada says, now do the cremation. You imagine, how much self-reliance you place, do the cremation of the child, burn the body. And then after that funeral ceremony, you come back, I will instruct you. So he finishes everything, the Narada instructs him and how to worship the Lord. He gives him the mantras to chant. And this king follows that basically it's a meditation on the Supreme Lord. And this Chitraketu very sincerely follows word by word what Narada had told. Imagine from a person who was so mentally attached, by the grace of Narada became, it was just a kindness of Angira actually. And Narada, he became delivered. And I very sincerely chant the mantras. Within 6 months he sees the Lord face to face in front of him. And, and that's what the situation is. So, therefore, we can see what the benediction we should ask for. People ask for benediction, that is so strange. There is another example in Bhagavatam of Nalakubera and Managriva. And they were so degraded that naked they were enjoying, fully drunk with women. And when Narada saw them, he was passing by the same river or a pond. When Narada was passing by, he just saw the women dressed themselves with this were naked only. They were so drunk, they could not understand their condition, mad. So Narada Muni felt bad, they are sons of a Devata, and they are so degraded. He curses them. Better to become trees. Trees stand naked and nobody protests. At the same time, being kind, he said, yes, You will be the trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, and Krishna will break the trees, both of you, and you will deliver. That's what happened in Krishna Leela. So imagine how fortunate it is to be in association with the devotees, because devotees can only wish well. They wish spiritual. Prabhupada used to say, this Krishna consciousness movement is a boon for the human society. Now, where people can understand that? They will think every year Nobel Prize is given for peace. Government also gives this Ratna, that Ratna. Does government ever give a Ratna to somebody for spreading spiritual knowledge? Does the government at all have any interest even to promote spiritual knowledge? Mostly, it's like a burden. Just like that discussion. Why this Kumbh Mela? It's like a burden on the government. These people. Prabhupada says, intentionally they keep the holy places unclean. Basically their idea is they don't promote. No government is promoting. Please go to the temple. No government. Because their idea is don't go. But can't say directly because it will be difficult. There will be some people who object. So in an indirect way, basically the leaders, Prabhupada says, as far as concerned, Indians are actually very inclined for spiritual life. Anybody born in this land. But being misguided by leaders, there was once what happened that Srila Prabhupada, devotees went to a place, and this is from Atmatattva Prabhu. He narrates very nicely this pastime. So devotees went to some place in North India, in Kanpur. And they saw, Bengali name something, and this devotee used to generally go to any Bengali and say, please help us. This movement is started by Bengali only, some kind of affinity. So he went to that person and he wanted to sell back to Godhead magazines. So that person said, yeah, please come. And when he came, he saw the photo of Prabhupada on the back. He said, Swamiji, he used to stay here sometimes in his preaching work. He said, really? He said, yeah. But that time we used to know him Swamiji. Whatever. Abhay Charana Swami Maharaj used to stay here. Please come. And then he sat and he told that actually he saved me. He said, why? He said, yes, I was a pious man otherwise to encourage Swami. So when he used to pass Kanpur, I used to say, please stay in my place. So he used to stay. And he said we had a separate place for him to stay. And he used to never use that, what he used to use, because the culture is there. And even his cloth line, he used to never use that area. It was reserved for him. So whenever passing to Kanpur, he used to stay in our place. And what happened that I was misguided by this one philosophy called Arya Samaj philosophy. And the philosophy says that, there is no need to worship personal God. They just do some homas every day, but they have no idea about personal God. And Prabhupada said, one day when Prabhupada was discussing philosophy with me and I revealed I follow this philosophy, Prabhupada started laughing. Then he said, what happened, Swamiji? He said, see, actually I know all of you Arya Samajis. What do people do? You go to temple, Vishnu temple, and you will see left and right, nobody is there. You go listen to the Lord and pray, please Lord forgive me for my offenses. Heart of the heart, this is yes condition, isn't it? You said yes. So, people may profess, because the whole propensity here is to worship Lord Vishnu, even though somebody may be teaching, some atheism in the college, say Darwin's theory, a teacher, at home they will do worship. That's how they cannot leave it actually. It is there within their heart. Prabhupada says, they may say that Vedic culture is dead, but see Kumbh Mela, how many people are going? Even that time, Prabhupada said, see, somebody told Prabhupada, the Indians are so lazy. Prabhupada is lazy, yeah? Look, there is no advertisement by the government. Please Kumbh Mela is there, come. No. By word of mouth, they come to know we should go. It is for our some kind of spiritual upliftment. Correct? And Prabhupada that time, see how many crores are going. How many crores are going. And there are no proper arrangements. You go, I have seen when I was in Kanpur, in the railway station, I have seen the trains. It is like animals being packed. So badly packed, Better arrangements, 100 times better arrangements can be done. It is true, a nice Kumbh Nagar is made, all that. But as for travel and all, just like these people died, so no doctor came for 3 hours when the people died on the platform. 3 hours. Knowing few crore people will be there on the railway station, what arrangement should be there? Isn't it? Looks like complete. Not that nothing has been done, but a lot more could have been done. So he says they're not lazy. If somebody, 3 crore people to go, and if we have to go, many a time, thinking about the amount of crowd there and the kind of pathetic arrangement there, many will not even think of going. Correct? So how many people are even risking their life to go there? I heard on the day, the main Snana, that 3 lakh people got lost. 3 crore people, that looks at the kind of arrangements. 3 lakh people got lost. मेरी मम्मी घूम गई, मेरा बेटा घूम गया, they were interviewing. 3 lakh, mass is moving, how you will lose track, Crores of people go for bath, definitely. So looks at the sad state of arrangement, but the point is they have an interest. If I can do something for my spiritual development, Prabhupada not only in India, Indians, they go any part of the world, they start looking for spiritual place. Actually, they make some temple, they make some place, and in fact, sometimes they become more serious than people in India, because they see there other part of the world, people not interested in spiritual life, but they can't live like that. They like to have some spiritual programs, so that is there. So now, what is happening? The people are being misled. So how to solve it? Prabhupada said, yes, sadhu sangha. Prabhupada said, that is how. That is why I have created temples all around the world. So people can come and grow in spiritual association. In fact, many times some people, even I made hostels near the colleges. And when the students come regularly, because the association increases, they become very nice devotees. Sometimes we have been trying, we go once a week, we meet students when we come back. But the impact is even stronger when we are more regularly there, so the interaction is very stronger. So in all these ways we can understand the greatest benediction can be Lava Madhara Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Goya. Even little association can do wonders. Faith comes by association. Anything. How do we have faith in something? How do we have faith? There is a country called America. I have not seen it. I meet here, associate with people who know about it. I also develop faith. And more the faith, more the association. But a pure devotee who is firmly convinced of the existence of, because see, Krishna and his kingdom is beyond my perception today. But a pure devotee who is relishing to Krishna's kingdom and Krishna's personal association, he carries Krishna in his heart. Therefore, Prabhupada is saying in the purport here, such great acharyas, they are verily in Vaikuntha all the time, because just by glorifying the Lord, Krishna says, Naham Tishtam ni Vaikuntha, I don't stay in Vaikuntha, I stay where my devotees are glorifying me. Prabhupada has quoted that line here. Narada yatra gayanti mad bhaktaha tatra tishtami yatra gayanti mad bhaktaha. I stay there where my devotees are glorifying me. So, tushyanti dharavanchicha. Bodhyasya paraspara. Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, a devotee takes so much pleasure in discussing about me. So when they do that, what happens? Krishna becomes present there. The great devotees like Nityananda Prabhu, when he used to do Kirtan, and then he used to start dancing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately appear there, invisible to everybody, just to see him dancing. The great. So similarly, when a devotees take sincere to offer chant without offenses, there are 10 offenses, you avoid the 10 offenses, chant the names of Krishna, Krishna becomes present there. So what can be more beautiful than that? And there was once somebody asked Prabhupada, why is your disciples keep chanting? In an interview, short 4-minute interview that is there. So Prabhupada said, just like radio waves. You put an antenna, you can immediately know what is going all around. You can know. Radio you get the news, this is happening. Similarly, by chanting Hare Krishna, just like by radio news, we are in contact with what is happening in the world. By chanting Hare Krishna, we are in contact with the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada says how much fortunate it is. Suppose I know the President of America, how privileged I feel if I am in contact with him. So similarly, how much privilege we should feel to be in contact with Krishna. Now this thing, the devotees make it manifest. Because they are, to the degree we are sincere, to that degree we can contact Krishna. So because pure devotees are fully in love with Krishna, Prabhupada says pure devotees are so dear to Krishna, they are constantly embraced by the Lord. So like somebody will love you, keep embracing him. And just like children, the parents keep embracing the child. They love them so much. As 100 times also not enough. One more time then. Similarly, pure devotees are so dear to Krishna, they are constantly embraced by the Lord. Because their whole life is dedicated to glorify Krishna, they are so dear to Krishna. They take all the risk to spread Krishna consciousness. Just like Srila Prabhupada, how much risk he has taken. And then they become very dear. So if we can come in contact with them immediately, Krishna becomes manifest in our heart. And little service we can do to them. Krishna because they don't accept service from Krishna. Prabhupada will not take. So what do? So if you serve them, Krishna becomes very pleased. And then the Prabhupada is saying something at the end. In fact, Prabhupada says the pure devotees never feel they are fit to go back to Krishna. Because of natural humility. So they feel even if they are born in the world, let them be in a place where devotees. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I don't want to be even an Indra or a Shiva if it is averse to service to Krishna, such an exalted post, Brahma's post or anything. I don't want. If I can be with the devotees, even as an insect, Kita, just like Bharat Maharaj, born as a deer, he ran to where the devotees are. So, if he can be in the isolation, even as an insect, he said, that will be very fine. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Mama Janmani Janmani Share Bhavatat Bhakti Ahitugi. So, birth after birth, if I can be with the born where devotees are there, and where I can have opportunity for devotion service. In fact, what happens is devotees relish the devotion service, an association of devotees so much, they don't want anything else. That is what happened to all of us. When he came in contact with the devotees, he saw them relishing Krishna consciousness, he said, we just want to be with them. We don't want anything else. Threw everything away. That is how the pleasure of Krishna consciousness is there in serving Krishna association with devotees, so pleasurable, so nectarian. We're ready to throw everything away. That is what he sees. It's not artificially there. They see so much pleasure in it. We want pleasure. The devotees see so much pleasure in glorifying Krishna or being part of the glorification of Krishna in association with devotees. They don't want to come out of that. There was an instance where there was one devotee called Giriraj Maharaj, and now he's a sannyasi. His father was a billionaire. So he visited Prabhupada. So he asked, so Prabhupada called him, please come. So he asked Prabhupada that I can give you a blank check. Any amount of donation you can take. Give my son back. So Prabhupada said, Giriraj, please go with your father. I don't want this check, anything. Take your son. So he said, see, Prabhupada, I want to be here. So Prabhupada told him on the face, can you understand this fact? He wants to be here. It's not me who's holding him. Prabhupada used to do it very honestly. Now, sometimes there has been instances people create a drama like artificially. It is all planned. And sometimes when people join the temple, this drama is done in front of parents. But Prabhupada is so natural, so pure. They said, see, the fact is this, that person could feel it. It's true. And then he said, my son has become very thin. Prabhupada said, don't worry. He called for the devotees and they brought some gulab jamun. And he said, have this. So the father had it. He said, yeah, it's very nice. So, Giriraj, you have to take 10 of this every day. Father, mother, so happy. So he knew, he was, they used to be so happy that going. He used to make them so comfortable. At the same time, he used to convince them that he is not the one who is dragging them. It's they who like this thing. And then, when they used to see the son actually, see what the son actually likes it, they used to feel that, it must be good only, if something my son likes. And they used to also look at it in a positive light through the eyes of their son, what he likes here. Not that, hide their son, nothing. It used to be so natural. And it was so genuine it used to be. We can imitate that, we have heard some people imitating that. Imitation is farce. But it used to be so genuine. The people used to go so convinced You can make out when there is a duplicity, then there is a sincerity. People used to, and sometimes they used to say, "My son, I know why you are here. I can feel, he is a great saint." So this is actually very true. Devotees love the association, they want to stay in the association. But it is also a fact that devotees always feel they are not fit to go to Krishna's lotus feet. In fact, just like I told Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, if I am born in this world, let me be born as an insect, but with the devotees. So I can at least hear their kirtana. Similarly, Prabhupada also in his prayer to his spiritual master says that I don't have any hope of liberation for billions of births. But with all humility at my command, let me now bow down to the lotus feet of such a great Acharya. In his Vyasa offering, Prabhupada says, that is the heart of a devotee. Always, he never says, I am going back. He always says. In a sense, yes, Prabhupada as an example, as a teaching, they say, yes, we know address of Krishna, and they encourages devotees. We know Krishna, we know his address, we know his father's name, we know his mother's name, we know we want to go there. And another thing Bhagavatam points out, the sun by both rising and setting takes away our life day by day. Many times people say happy birthday. Prabhupada says, what is so happy about it? Because one more year means one more year I have gone near my death. Just like a vehicle has a life. Now you don't celebrate 5-year-old. Now at the same time you are conscious now. If the vehicle life is 6-7 years. Now one more year it has gone near its end. So our body also has a particular time. So every year we are going near our death. In that sense, what is the excitement? Because when you don't look at reality, there is an excitement. People look this life as aimless, purposeless. Just like a student in a college, he abuses the whole education system, just for an example's sake. They also make mistake. Library is there, nobody ever goes. Teacher is there. They never go and ask teacher one question after the class. Many times those who are trying, they see the system is becoming weak, students don't have much interest. Just like as an example I want to say that how the education system is abused today. It is just, there is no respect for teachers, there is no sincere interest to know the subject. Somehow to cram, get some marks and pass the course. In the same way, the education system of Krishna is also abused. Huge arrangement Krishna has made. Krishna has not only made theoretical arrangement in terms of giving the scriptures. Krishna has made even arrangement of personally coming and teaching. Sending a stalwart acharyas, there can be no better teacher than that. Krishna also made practical arrangement. Just like we have theory and practical. In this world there is a lot of theory given. There are the books and the acharyas. Practical we have. Krishna has created lakhs of species for us to undergo experiential learning. But still we don't take it, And then just like in a college say, every month is passing, students are celebrating, one more month is over, happy new month, happy new year. But sir, why don't you see exam is coming near? The moment you make them meditate on the exam, all the so-called celebration goes on. Wow, new month means one more month near the exam. In the same way, in our new year, happy new year means one more year near my death. So what is so special about the happy new year? Nothing so special. Or about my birthday, there's nothing happy about it. In fact, it's unfortunate that I was born in this world. It's a proof of my birth in this world, is a proof of my failing the exam of birth and death. I failed the exam last life. So I'm again born in this world. So here Krishna is giving the clear, we can understand, by rising and setting sun takes a life away, except for a person who is spending time hearing about Krishna. And Prabhupada is saying here, the association of devotees is so special. At the same time, Prabhupada spends so much time writing these books. And he used to always tell, please distribute this books. In a sense, he made available association of Krishna through his books. And he knew, many times he used to say, don't think everybody will be able to come to temple. It is not practical. But wherever they are, they can read these books and chant Hare Krishna and go back to home. It's not that we have to meet that person. Through us he has to get some books are there, he can chant Hare Krishna and Prabhupada. And if he hears it seriously, if he reads even one page seriously, these books can give a benediction to a person. Can go back. And another thing is that Prabhupada used to say, just by touching this book, sometimes book distributors, they do that. Just give the book to the hand of the person. These books are not ordinary books. Just touching them, he feels, a spiritual current. Because soul is a devotee of Krishna, there is an immediate awakening. And he starts submissively, which is surprising to us because we were arguing for millions of years, he was not listening to us. When he touches his book, he starts reading, and as he reads authoritatively, anybody authoritatively explaining, person becomes submissive, and he surrenders. Sometimes we have so many times we have seen that. We may not be able to convince a man, give him Prabhupada books, he will convince him. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam.